Hello, friends. Welcome to this special session of What and Why First. It is special overall because we have Mark Sotomayor with us. He has been all my friends are very patient with me because, frankly, getting this live stream organized and done takes some time and some settings. And Mark has been extremely generous with his time. He's super busy getting his startup off the ground amidst all the complications that the coronavirus have brought in terms of logistics. We're going to talk about that in a moment. But Mark, thank you so much for being here with me. I certainly appreciate it. And we're going to get to know Mark a little bit more. For some of you that this is the first time that are joining me in this event, I am Josué Batista. I am a technology strategist. I have been in the technology space for several years with intense focus on business. Technology is driven by business, innovation, strategy. And What and Why First is a way for me to highlight the importance of having leadership like Mark today being here in this show and sharing his experience. I think is extremely helpful in the context of technology and innovation for the future. And please follow my blog on YouTube and also on LinkedIn. There's plenty of resources there. So let's get started. So Mark, tell us a little bit about you. You are relatively local to me because we both are in the Western Pennsylvania, United States region. So tell us a little bit more about you and what is the connection between Mark Sotomayor and this very interesting startup, which is Treecup Organic Tea.
Yes, well, thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here. I live in Butler County, specifically in Evans City, and I recently graduated from college. I founded Treecup Tea when I was a sophomore in college, and that happened whenever I had my mom's recipe of Peruvian chai tea. And it's a mix of cinnamon, cloves, and anise, all infused with a black tea. And I told her, Mom, this tea's so good, you could sell it. She's like, well, you study entrepreneurship. That was my major. Why don't you? And that was 3 years ago. Then I decided to figure out how we're going to do that. So I got an FDA-approved commercial kitchen. I got some bottles and labels made. And then now, we are getting in some new glass bottles. So we've kind of developed to a new era, I guess, of my product, and kind of been through a decent amount with like a rebrand and learning a lot in the process, but I'm grateful and I wouldn't have changed the process for anything. We're servicing the Pittsburgh area now.
Right. So you already have your product in some of stores, right? Locally. You already have arrangements for distribution. Is that right?
Yes, we're in the three Pittsburgh Whole Foods. That's like our biggest account. And then we're also in like a dozen independent stores, which are shown on our website.
Excellent. So let's talk a little bit about there's a story behind this. And I think for our friends that are watching this video, especially those ones that are thinking about starting an idea, starting a product, testing whether a product there is some commercial opportunity. So we know that you already have this knowledge of this excellent product from your family. But one thing is to have it for friends and family, and another one is to bring a product to a commercial space, right? So tell us about the journey. Just briefly, we don't have to go into much details, but what were some of the challenges that you encounter as you probably were very excited, hey, we're going to take this to the market, but then perhaps there were some challenges along the way. What would be perhaps some of the lessons that you learned and some of the challenges that perhaps our friends that are thinking about entrepreneurship, they want to probably manage better or perhaps even avoid?
Yes. So I started my brand with the name Te Amo, which means I love you, and it also means tea love, kind of, because I put a accent mark above the E. And I thought that was real clever. And I didn't check the international trademarks for this. in the local United States trademark database, Teamo was listed in a weird manner that I didn't quite understand. And I thought it would have been fine to have used it because it wasn't listed under tea. So I went ahead and I used that for about less than a year. And about 10 months into me using the name Teamo, I got a cease and desist letter from a Guatemalan company called Teamo. And that means I had to change how I, everything, the way I was kind of selling the product. I had a lot of units of that label ordered, so I had to stop doing that because they could have taken everything. And so I learned from that point not to choose a name that's already taken. First off, how to find whether names are taken a lot, and really to just contact a patent or trademark attorney is probably the best thing to do. Even if you're just at the beginning, at the start gate. I was kind of maybe too eager to begin without getting my footing, and that's kind of been a trend that I've been going through. I'm kind of like a shoot first, ask questions later type of dude. I'm scrappy. I just like to go at, do things. And that was one of the bigger things. So it took us about like a year to rebrand and get our new decomposable plastic Treecup bottles in. So we were stalled for quite a while there. Looks like Josué here is having some technical difficulties. So I'll just show you guys how the bottles look like now. You can see that we have kind of a cool looking logo and icon. The icon is the name of the business. So it's a tree and a cup. And I got this made by an amazing designer in London. And I probably had to go through like a dozen designers to find one that really suited what I wanted to do. And they put together all the colors, as well as all the bottles. The producer to make the glass was also kind of I probably reached out to until I found what I wanted them to do. So that's getting things imported from
right. That is, I'm back lost in cyberspace. So Mark, interesting story, but because entrepreneurs don't think of actually product design. It started with the name, which look at the chat, so checking on the name, the logistics associated with design and production of that product, right? Of the container in this case, because you have the nice product, but then you need to pack it, right? And I presume, Mark, when you fill your bottles and do all the packaging, now you have to put it in a kind of a box, right? And then wrap it. Is that how it's distributed to the stores?
Yeah, we actually use empty banana boxes and 48, so that's 4 cases of these fit perfectly in there. So we kind of like reuse from that point. But yeah, it's all super scrappy.
Yeah, but it works, right? So the whole objective is to get the product to the market, and that is what you're doing, right? Now, tell us a little bit more about the logistical challenge that you are experiencing now, because as you mentioned, there is a situation with China, right? So what is happening there, and what steps are you taking to resolve it?
Yeah, so I got a huge invoice slapped on top of the fees I already paid for getting it shipped from the Shanghai port to New York. So yeah, I got slapped with some congestion fees for them being busy, a peak season fee, large, and that just added up. And so that's a whole thing. And, no one really, well, I guess there are some experts which might be able to tell you what months, freight and handling and shipping are going to be more expensive. But I didn't account for that well. I didn't predetermine those things. So I
Right.
guess I'm being slapped with some heavy, heavy fees. Um, and to the point where actually this Tuesday, my bottles get delayed like a month. And then, they were supposed to be here about a week ago. So now I'm picking them up on Tuesday. In order to save money, I'm actually like renting a truck, a Penske truck, and
Right.
going and picking them myself. But
Right.
I guess it's just part of the process. I kind of spent some time sulking around from all these fees, but now I'm just like, you know what? I just got to pay it, learn my lesson. Next time, order earlier. So a lot of products that are being sold in the U.S. Are made over in China. So it
Right.
makes sense that there's a ton of congestion. I was kind of sad to see that I was being paid for their busyness at the port. But it is what it is, I guess. And I don't think there's anything really I can do, but I tried some different things. But, yeah.
Right. It's part of the doing business activities, right? It is something that you're learning now and you're gonna get better at it as you go, right? It's part of the whole process, the learning process. So you're gonna have soon bottles. So that means the product is gonna be in market, right? It's gonna be in the shelves for people to go and get. Are you gonna get perhaps into mail delivery, like for example, people ordering certain number of bottles through a channel like Amazon? Have you considered that, like going direct to the consumer from your location?
Yeah, I definitely want to go direct to consumer. One of the plans is posting on Amazon, but we're definitely going to be up on our website as soon as I get the bottles in. So, I'm getting them in Tuesday. I'll probably be brewing all day, Wednesday, Thursday. And then by next Friday, we'll probably be up on the website in these new glass bottles via the 12 pack. You can buy them by the 12 pack. So excited for that. Direct to consumer is definitely like what I like to do more because it saves us more money. Yeah.
Right, it does. It does because you don't have the intermediary. But it adds also complexity on your end, right? When it comes to logistics, because now you have to take the orders, you have now timing for delivery, and other considerations, returns, customer service, yeah. So if you were saving from the distribution perspective, that cut that they take from you, but now some of those activities are being translated to your end. But good luck. I mean, it sounds that you have that well organized and well done, so it's great. Now, tell us about the funding aspect, because you just ran a very interesting and very dynamic fundraising activity on Kickstarter. And tell us about that. I mean, how did that go, and what are you going to use the funds for?
Yeah, so we just raised $9,000 on Kickstarter. That was good. That was my second time trying to crowdfund. And it was good to see our base of like 111 backers ending up contributing. So that went well. I should say that at first I was thinking, let's go for 20,000, and then I was thinking, let's go for 15,000 via someone's recommendation, and then another recommendation. If you don't reach the minimum amount, then you won't be able to keep it. Right. So then my mom's like, hey, let's go 8,000. And then before I posted it, I'm like, you know what, let's have a stretch goal at every 5,000. So our primary goal was 5,000. And at different points in the stretch goal, I had different things that we could do for the money. So I think we're definitely going to launch the Ancient Healing Tea line. That'll be loose leaf teas online, which it's like a dozen different ingredients per little bag that we're going to sell. And that'll be like with the intention of healing different things and comfort and, healing like sicknesses like the flu or a cold over this winter, which I kind of learned how to do with these herbs. And we're also going to use it for distribution funds. We're going to see kind of how the orders roll in now that we're coming into the colder season in Western Pennsylvania. Iced tea sells less, so I might just like be delivering them myself, most likely, unless we get a larger quantity of orders. Then come the winter time, depending on kind of like what the demand is, we're gonna try to do a co-packing session, in which they can make like 3,000 bottles for us in a single day. And this is a really cool company out of Pittsburgh called Pittsburgh Pickle, that has like a huge kettle and a filling method. Right now, we're just producing them through the batches of either 100 or 150 bottles at a time, actually manually filling each bottle. And that's what we've done until now with our 18,000 bottle sales. So yeah, that's kind of like all we really have money. Further stretch goals. We're kind of like launching, producing more at a time, but I guess we got to inch along, especially with these fees at the port that I wasn't expecting.
And that sounds like a great idea, that co-packing, because frankly, definitely the investment for that kind of equipment that they have is significantly high. But you are using them for a fraction. It's not fraction of the usage, right? So it's a very interesting opportunity, and I really encourage our entrepreneurs to consider that. If you are making wine, why to stay with everything, for example, when you can do co-packing or even co-making of the wine, we can get what is called a co-producer license, right? And you use somebody else's facility. The equipment is for you, and then the hardest part is the sale. Some people say, no, I don't want anyone to steal my idea, but really, ideas are plenty. I think what is challenging is, Mark, it's not just the idea, it's actually making that idea reality what is hard. I'm concerned that somebody's going to steal my idea, because frankly, no one has the discipline, no everybody has the discipline to take an idea and make it into a product, and then even good luck selling it, right? So that is brilliant. I love the idea that you are leveraging existing infrastructure, existing capabilities to actually propel your product into a larger footprint, in Western Pennsylvania and perhaps beyond. Now, I'd like to switch here to pivot, because some of the friends that are watching already know this, but some of you do not. Tell us about the connection between trees and your tea. In fact, I have, let me show our friends here. If you go to the website, let me bring the website here. There is you have a very nice website, and I want to display here for a moment. So I want to kind of take over your screen here for a moment here.
For sure.
And here is, I just want to show our friends. Here is the image, and let me bring the entire image here. So it is, we have a picture of a beautiful boy there holding a couple of trees, little baby trees. Tell us about the meaning of this. What is the connection between this tree planting in Haiti and your tea?
Yeah, so we work with a nonprofit called Haiti Friends, which does a lot of their fundraising in Western Pennsylvania, but does all their work at their tree nurseries in Haiti. Their main tree nurseries in Deschapelles. And yeah, we, ever since like the beginning, we've been donating about 40 cents per bottle sold to this nonprofit. And they plant a tree for us. And each year I go down to take videos of these trees being planted and to kind of like show people content. That's the most important part to us. We're trying to really like to reforest the whole country eventually. we try to be like really transparent. So there are many tree planting nonprofits, but the reason I like this one is because they're very like boots on the ground. Their staff of like 9 tree nursery keepers are continually, they've been there years and years, and they're at the beginning of the year when the saplings are barely growing in the tree nursery, they're identifying the community they want to go service in the Artibonite Mountains that are very deforested. And then they teach them about how to do the agroforestry, why not to cut the trees down, et cetera, for months, up until they finally do a huge community tree planting session in the summertime. And I've tried to make it to these. There's this QR code on the side of our bottles that is hashtag tree of the day. When you scan that, you can actually see a video of a tree being planted that I took myself, like with my phone, on these trips. So that's important to me. I really love this organization, and that's kind of the crux of what we do. That's how we differentiate. It's eco-friendly iced tea.
Right. And I think, Mark, that you mentioned, as you are describing this, I want our friends that are listening to this, that are thinking into terms of entrepreneurship. There is three things that you mentioned that I think are extremely important. Number one, this social mission of keeping the planet greener by planting trees is something important to you. Right? It's something that you can relate to. So for our friends, find something that is motivating to you and you can relate in terms of the effort, right, that it's going to take. Because believe me, traveling even internationally, even before COVID, was not an easy task. And I'm glad that you're doing that. So number one, find your passion when it comes to contribution beyond the economics and the logistics of your business. Number two, there is a differentiation context, right? Because, as you said, there are many organizations there that probably are doing very good job, very good people. They're also trying to do good things. But you were very careful, in the sense of identifying the ones that relate to you and actually that have a context that is appropriate for you from an operational perspective, right? And then finally, you made the whole circle. And I think it's important because I think at each level, as an entrepreneur, you can leave it at that way. So friends, if you have a social mission, you can keep it to yourself. I mean, it's something that is good for you. You want to contribute, you write the check, you contribute, you don't have to tell anybody. And it's perfectly fine. If you want to make that part of your organization, that is great because it's a differentiating factor. You are doing good, but you're doing good for something that is important to other people. And then finally, that little tag that you're placing there, it's awesome because you are creating the connection, not just when they go to the website, when they hear about it. Just put the iPhone